Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D with the 1969 year mint set. And these here are the uncirculated mint sets from Denver. So we see the D on all of these coins. There's a D, there's a D up here somewhere, D here. In 1969, the United States Mint produced $281.5 billion worth of coins among these here. So let's take a look at them and talk about the different pennies. Now, when we talk about how many coins they produced them at the Denver Mint, at the Philadelphia Mint, and at the San Francisco Mint. They produced both regular business circulating coins and some proof coins. In 1969, the U.S. Mint produced 5.7 billion pennies between the Denver Mint, the San Francisco Mint, which did regular business circulating coins in 1969, and the Philadelphia Mint. The most of them, 4 billion, were made at the Denver Mint, and that's the one right here. And we're going to look through the Denver Mint year set one by one. And here is the back of the penny, and this is just a beauty, isn't it? You see United States of America, pluribus unum, Lincoln down there in the center, 1 cent here. Over to the side, we see an F and a G for Frank Gasparo. So remember the FG, because that'll come back with another coin in this set. Next, they produced the nickels. And this is just a beautiful nickel. A little bit scratched, but look at the color on it. Just kind of this yellow, kind of pretty solid color. We look down here, we see like a little bit of blue, a little defect in the coating of the coin, I think. Then we look to the back and we see this is a coin that came straight out of an uncirculated mint set. And in 1969, they made 1.8 million uncirculated mint sets. This has never been touched by anyone. And it's got no steps, almost no steps at all. At the U.S. Mint in 1969, they made 323 million nickels. And almost all of them don't have any steps on them. They also made the dimes at the Denver, San Francisco, and Philadelphia Mints in 1969. We'll see this dime looks like it got kind of worn along the edges. And you see this once in a while with the 1969s, whether it's from some kind of a moisture or oil on top, or whether it just didn't press in right. But you'll see that this kind of, the I, the W often are kind of flattened. And you see this one has the I, the N a little bit, the W-E, a little bit of the T, and the 6 and the 9 are both flattened out a little bit. Well, they made 709 million dimes in 1969. This one here, you see the J and the S on the bottom. That's for John Sinek, who was the engraver of these dimes. It's, of course, Roosevelt facing to the left with Liberty in front of him. We tip it up and we see it's a copper, nickel-clad copper. One of the special things we're going to show you later is that it's actually a coin from the year set, the uncirculated mint set, that has silver in it from 1969, but it's not the dime. It says United States of America here, e pluribus unum, and see, even that US in the unum is worn, and worn not by anybody using it, and you can see the full bands, not so great on this coin here. In fact, you can't even see the full bands. So we got a coin that was never circulated that has worn out characteristics to it. We see the olive branch on the left, the oak branch on the right. Down at the bottom it says 1 dime. And it's a little chippy down here too. So that's the dime. They did make the quarter too, and this is just a beautiful quarter. Some people say, well, it looks kind of cloudy and it's not probably worth much. This quarter is worth quite a bit. In 1969, they made 290.5 million quarters. And this one right here, I'm guessing, is probably worth minimum the $5 to $7 range, and maximum maybe $20+, just because it's so well done. Now, you don't see any fading on the letters here. You see the 1969, the date looks just great. The D looks good. It's not filled or messy. We tip it up here, and we look on the bottom, and we see that there is a J and an F here. You can see it really well. So that's for John Flanagan. And we look up, and not great detail in here, but for this year, this is about how as good as it gets. It says Liberty at the top. Again, we tip it up, and it's a copper nickel clad. We get onto the back, and we see that little bit messy here. There should be the ribbons that go across. But when we get up in here, we see that there are some body feathers. United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum here, and then the olive branch here, and the eagle holding the arrows. And next, finally, we have the Kennedy $50. And this one, again, looks a little cloudy and misty. This one, again, in pretty good shape. A little bit rushed in 1969. Liberty at the top with the E, the B, the E, and the R in his hair. Denver Mint down here at the bottom, and you'll see that it went down and made a little bit of a divot, and that happens sometimes. They punch it hard enough. In God on this side, underneath the truncation on the neck, it says We Trust, and then down here there's a G and an R, and that's for Gilroy Roberts, who was the engraver of these coins. And this 1969 is the one we were talking about, has some silver in it. If we tip it up a little bit, you don't see much of a copper color there, and that's because this is a 40% silver. So this is worth a couple dollars just in silver alone. It says United States of America on the back. We see that there's 9 stars here and 4 here. So that's our 13, then 50 around the outside. Down here it says E pluribus unum on the ribbon. And over here it says $50. And way down in here, remember I said that we're going to see the FG again that we saw on the back of the penny. So on the back of the penny we saw an F and a G for Frank Gasparo, who engraved the Lincoln Memorial penny reverse right there. And now we see it here on the $50, the Kennedy half, because in 1963, it came out in 64, Frank Gasparo did the back of the Kennedy $50, and you can see the eagle holding the olive branch and the arrows on this one too. So we have the half, we have the nickel, we have the dime, kind of a worn dime, we have the penny, and then in here we have the quarter. All right, that's all we have today from Big D Coins. Make sure you subscribe to the Big D Coin channel. Leave any comments you might have in the comments section.